This is essentially the story of a professional con artist who preyed on the vulnerable families of missing children. All around the world, from Spain to the US and even Russia, Frederick Bourdain impersonated countless kids in order to escape the prying eyes of the International Criminal Police Organization, aka Interpol. This documentary follows Bourdain's most intricate and extensive identity fraud, faking the life of a boy from Texas who was kidnapped named Nicholas Barclay. In producing this film, creator Bart Layton's goal was to elucidate the naivete of families whose desperate hopes of reuniting with their lost children had completely consumed their lives and outlooks, clouding their convictions with emotional and illogical thought.
This is Carrie's birthday. When I was so beautiful. Oh, yeah. And here is her brother, Nick.
In opening the film with an array of home videos, the audience is immediately introduced to the subject of the film, missing child Nicholas Barclay. In muffling his voice, Layton is successful in delivering a message of ambiguity. The ominous and somewhat ghoulish overtone, coupled with the menacing thoughts and visuals that surround the disturbing circumstances.
I washed her brain.
He means brainwashed.
I didn't stab because I didn't think of stabbing. I didn't watch myself in the mirror and say, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop that immediately." I realized that I've crossed the line. I wasn't pretending no more to have another identity. I stole one.
In this clip, we have Bourdain lying peacefully asleep in the right-hand side of the frame. In contrast, the left-hand side alternates between three main images: Bourdain looking suspiciously at the ground, Nicholas's mother speaking frantically and insistently on the phone throughout the night, in addition to blurred lights illuminating a narrow path resembling a tunnel. One can postulate that these images are in fact highlights of his dreams. Layton attempting to illustrate to the audience the extent of Bourdain's nefarious and fraudulent mindset, enabling him to orchestrate the perfect crime per se.
We got on the plane.
The previous clip depicts Frederick Bourdain posing as Nicholas Barclay along Barclay's sister, Carrie. As they boarded the airplane from Spain back to America, their descent down the tarmac both literally and figuratively took a turn for the worst. In blurring the cinematography, Layton revealed to the audience that their future back home will not be as clear as they once hoped. In fact, it is in effect foreshadowing the horrors for the Barclay family that lay ahead.
This is Eyewitness News at 10.
He disappeared without a trace 3 years ago. Tonight, a San Antonio boy is back home. Nicholas Barclay's now 16 years old. He vanished when he was 13. Nicholas says he was kidnapped and taken to Spain. He says for 3 years he was repeatedly drugged, beaten, and raped, all part of a sex slave operation involving dozens of missing children.
Well, Bob, the FBI is not taking this case lightly. The reason? Somehow a 13-year-old boy from San Antonio ended up in Spain without a passport.
Archival footage is used in this film as a rhetorical strategy in order to add both ethos and pathos to Layton's overall argument, highlighting both the great emotion that captivates the Barclays in the wake of Nicholas's so-called return from the dead, as well as adding a piece of eyewitness and expert testimony to provide credibility to the story. Though a majority of the film may be perceived as fiction, adding archival footage distinguishes from an episode of Criminal Minds, if you will. The female news broadcaster uses the term somehow to create a feeling of uncertainty that transcends the conventional feeling of worry in a time like this, one marked by deception, grief, and heartache.
The biggest, funniest one to me, hilarious, is that we went and picked up a complete stranger to hide the fact that we killed Nicholas, or someone in my family killed Nicholas, when through 4 years that Nicholas was disappeared, we were the only ones looking for him. Why would we go pick up a stranger to hide something that didn't need to be hidden?
Carrie Barclay's use of verbal irony in this scene effectively captured her immense difficulty in coping with the stress and newfound rumors surrounding the reemergence of her prodigal brother. In addition to Bourdain, many investigators continuously question the honesty of the Barclay family due to the mysterious circumstances surrounding Nicholas's return. Are they covering something up? How were they unable to differentiate between their own flesh and blood and an imposter, one who looks nearly entirely different and sported a French accent, one not necessarily natural for a Texan boy? Through this interview with Carrie, Layton was attempting to turn the proverbial tables and place blame on the family, allowing the audience to question their pre-existing thoughts.
Spain, 1992.
Benjamin Dionyson, Spain, September 1993. Shelter from
Jimmy Peter Manfred, Luxembourg, 1992.
Ernie Wright, Barcelona. He stated that he had run away from his adoptive parents' house.
Thomas Wilson, Brussels, 95.
He was interned in Fernandez, Pyrenees.
Alex Ross, Milan, 1993.
Making false statements. Benjamin Kent, Glasgow.
I sat there, I could hardly eat. I could hardly swallow my food.
Robin Morans, Arnaud Orians.
Deportation
Shadjan
order
Raskovic.
was issued against him.
Mark Sullivan.
He always wore glasses. Giovanni Petrullo. His identification.
Michelangelo Martini.
Alex Doe.
Donovan McNeff.
Thomas Wilson.
Peter Sampson.
William Thomas.
Jimmy Sally.
93.
Peter Robbins.
92.
James Martin.
94.
Frederick Cassis.
93.
Jonathan Doran.
Apparently, when you see
Francisco Hernandez Fernandez.
5.
Shadgen Gutierrez.
He was in prison. He tried self-mutilation. It's possible he may need psychiatric help.
By enumerating the vast number of identities that Frederick Bourdain had assumed during his years as an imposter, his expertise as a con man was incontrovertibly established. This was likely a tactic manipulated by the screenplayer to detract from the Barclay family's willingness to accept the stranger into their home. This man was in fact a professional. Anyone may have fallen for it.
Just another one of his lies.
In this clip, Bourdain's truly wicked persona is exemplified for the last time. In including this piece, Layton is successful in depicting the expertise of Bourdain in being a pretender, and the unfortunately manipulative circumstances undergone by the grieving family. Finally, closing the film with this image leaves an emotional imprint on the mind of the viewer, one marked by disgust, anguish, and overall bewilderment.